Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood Show podcast. This is your host, Amy Grace, or you can call me AG, just don't call me Amy. And today, I've got some good stuff for you. But first, we're gonna get to the nitty gritty, okay? I posted something very controversial on my Instagram account the other day, on my personal account, which you can also follow if you want, at AGBloodShow with 2 E's on Instagram. But anyways, I posted this very controversial take on bluebonnets, and when I tell you people were upset, okay? I had no idea I was starting a war with people, but I had people in my DMs who are never in my DMs. No, but like people were upset about it, and so I'm here to settle some things, okay? If you are watching on the YouTube, I want you to go into the comment section right now. And, well, first, if you think that bluebonnets are ugly, I want you to let me know in the comment section right now. Keep watching the video, but just scroll down to the comments and say bluebonnets are ugly. And if you do not agree with me that bluebonnets are ugly, I want you to scroll down, comment, I am forgiven. Because you are forgiven for disagreeing with me. No, I'm just playing. You can comment whatever you want. I don't really care. Just kidding, I do care. I'm just trying to see how many people also agree that blue bonnets are not pretty. I'm just saying, like, the more that I look at them, the more that I'm just like, I feel like I've been brainwashed into thinking they're pretty. Because, like, the more I look at them, the more I'm like, it's giving blue pine cones. Like, you tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I know you will, so you probably already have in my DMs on Instagram. But anyways, now that we got that out of the way, today we're talking about friendship. And, I had some conflict in some of my friendships over this bluebonnet thing. I mean, people disagreed with me hardcore. I'm just playing. We didn't actually, but it was funny to see my friends being like, you're wrong about this. So I'm like, oh, you're wrong about this. Yeah, so today we're talking about friendship. I feel like I've gotten a lot of requests to talk about friendship. Every time I put like a question box on the Instagram, or I'll like take a poll of like 2 different episode titles, and I'll be like, which topic do you think we're talking about today? And people like keep guessing the friendship one, so I'm like, maybe this means I should make a friendship one. So that's what I'm doing today. We are just gonna get right on into it. So you guys wanted to know how to build genuine friendships. And I think that this is really needed because I see so many people around me in friendships that I just don't believe are genuine friendships. Like, people are just constantly talking bad about each other. They're being hypocritical. They're being judgmental. Like, people are just not having each other's backs. And it makes me sad to see friendships like that because, I mean, one, I empathize with them because I've been that kind of friend that just does not have my friend's back. And I've also been on the receiving end of that, of like having someone that didn't have my back and was talking bad about me and all this stuff, and it just hurts. Like, it sucks. It's not what friendship is supposed to be. And so I hope that by making this video and talking about this on the podcast, I hope that this is an encouragement to you to be the good friend. I think so often we want everyone around us to change when really, like, we're the ones that need to change, because my hope is that you will be able to really evaluate yourself as a friend, and that you will be able to be like, man, like, this is where I feel like I do well in the friendship department, and this is where I do not do well in the friendship department. And my hope is that you would then begin to be the good friend, to be the friend that you're looking for, to be the friend that you want. And bless the people around you, serve them, be the kind of friend that Jesus was to the disciples and the kind of friend that he is to us today. And so I was listening to a podcast before this. Megan Ashley has a podcast, and I was listening to it, and she was talking about friendship with somebody else, and she was just saying how, like, she was about to read this book on friendships, and she was like praying. She was like, Lord, like, help me not to see everybody else in this book, in this discussion about friendships, but Lord, like, show me me, like, show me how I can be a better friend, show me where I've messed up, show me where I can take responsibility. And it takes a lot to be that self-aware, and I mean, it takes a lot of courage, because sometimes you will go into those conversations and realize, like, you are actually the bad friend in these friendships that you're experiencing. But I want you to know there's so much grace and there's so much forgiveness for you. I love that Jesus doesn't leave us where we are. Like, he pulls us up, he helps us, he walks alongside us, and he says, yes, you've been there, but you're not going to stay there. We're going to get up, we're going to learn, and we're going to keep walking. And so let this be an encouragement to you. If you feel convicted, if you feel like just bad about yourself, it's painful, yes, and like I am right there with you, because I have also been the bad friend. But today marks the day that we're going to change that. We're going to be the good friend. We're going to walk out of that sin. We're going to leave it behind, and we're going to be the friend that we've always wanted. We're going to be the kind of friend that we want to have. There's honestly 3 things that I feel like are the foundation of what I look for in friendship. It's people who are honest, real, and love it. I want the friend that is going to be honest with me. I want the friend that's going to literally call me out and be like, girl, you're not, like, your head's not screwed on right about this. Obviously, the friend that's going to tell you in love, but, like, sometimes love is just being so real and so raw, and just like, girl, like, you got it twisted, okay? I remember something very specific that happened about a year ago. One of my guy friends had told me something that really hurt my feelings, okay? And he told me that I wasn't going to be able to do something, and I was like, what do you mean I can't do it? Like, what are you talking about? And so I remember going to one of my best friends about this and just like venting to her and like low-key gossiping, because that's what I was doing. So don't do that. But this is just the reality of the situation. I went to her and I was like, I can't believe he said this to me. I am so mad. Like, he doesn't even know what he's talking about, just the whole girl pettiness type stuff. And she was like, she in this situation, she could have been like, man, I agree. Like, how could he say that? But instead, I just remember her saying, like, have you thought about talking to him about that? And I was like, no, I actually haven't. And she really just called me to do the right thing in that situation, because that was the right thing. Like, my feelings were hurt, and I was hurt enough to be talking about it to other people. And she just told me, like, man, like, you need to tell him that. Like, that's the only way that this is going to get figured out. And that's how I was going to really find peace from the situation, because I thought that by going to my friend about the situation and talking about it and venting, I thought that I was going to, I guess in a sense, receive justice for how that person did me wrong. But, like, I didn't actually find true justice in that. Like, it really didn't make me feel better. And at least, like, any type of peace that it did make me feel, I think, was a false sense of peace, a false sense of comfort. And so I ended up going to my guy friend, and I was like, hey, like, my feelings were really hurt when you said this because of X, Y, and Z. And we ended up working it out. He apologized, I forgave him, and, like, I was able to hear his heart behind it, because he wasn't trying to be malicious. He wasn't trying to hurt my feelings. And I think that this is something that I struggle with a lot. I often, I think, see the worst in people, just because I'm very skeptical, and sometimes that can be used for good, because I feel like some people will just fall for anything. Like, somebody will be nice to them for 3 seconds and they're like, this is the best person I've ever met. And I'm like, it's really not that hard to be nice. Like, have you heard the way that they talk about other people type of thing? But I think that it can also swing on the completely other side of the spectrum of, like, someone will say one wrong thing to me and I'm like, they're out to get me, when, like, they just, like, the delivery was off, or I don't know, I took it the wrong way. But my friend ended up apologizing to me. We worked it out, and like, we've been fine. Like, I think in that moment I really just appreciated how honest my friend was with me and how willing she was to just be like, hey, like, I know that it's gonna make you feel better to just talk about it in the moment right now, but what's really, like, what you're really looking for is going to be found in that conversation with the friend that hurt you. And so, honesty is so important. You need friends that are going to be honest with you, even when it's not what you want to hear. I want friends that are going to be real. I want friends that are going to have me laughing about the stupidest things. I want the friends that aren't going to be judging me for being weird or being quirky or whatever. I want the friends that are real. I want the friends that have perspective, the friends that I feel like are living in the real world. Have you ever met those kinds of people that they just feel out of touch, and it's like they're living in a alternate reality where life is just not what it actually is? You need people that are real, people that are self-aware, that, man, like, they just want the real things in life. And like, those are the kinds of people that you want. Like, you don't want the people that just make you feel bad for no reason. Like, those are not people that you want in your life. Like, it's heavy for no reason, and it doesn't make life better, easier. Like, those kinds of people, they're drowning in their own insecurities, and you just have to be really careful about keeping those kinds of people around. Like, those are probably not the people that you're going to build a genuine friendship with. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you made it this far, be sure to leave a rating on the Spotify. The reviews on the podcast help me out so much, and it helps other people find the podcast. So if you have not rated the podcast yet, don't forget to do that. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you liked, anything that stood out to you. If this episode encouraged you or helped you in any way, please share it with a friend, share it with somebody else who can also be encouraged or helped by this. Be sure to follow on all of our social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok at The Blood Show Media, so be sure to keep up with everything that we're doing there. With that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week on Tuesday at 3 p.m.